Hello students, this video should help you if you're having trouble getting started on the lines challenge. So you start by opening the link for the Desmos house. And this is called the starter house because this is the house that we start with. You can see that these equations are making up the house, and the purple equation makes the purple line, y equals -2. And instead of the whole line being across the page, y equals -2 goes forever, we only have part of the line between where x is -3 and where x is 1. So right here is where x is -3, and right here is where x is 1. So it might make sense to take a minute and just try to match up each equation with its line so you know what you're dealing with. All right. Going back, it says to log in with Google and select your FCPS Google account. So I am already logged in, but this is where you would log in if you're not logged in. Then it says to change the name of the graph to house moved up, and that's because we are going to move that house up. And after we change the name of the graph to house moved up, we're changing the equations and also the domain and range restrictions to move the house up 2 spaces. And then we're going to save it. So let's go back. First thing, we call it house moved up. And we save it there. And then we start changing the equations to move the house up 2. Some of them are straightforward, like this one, y equals -2. When it moves up, it's going to be y equals 0. Okay, so that one was pretty easy to move up. The next one, though, is x equals -3. And when I move this up, it's still going to be on the line x equals -3. But this point here, that's where y is -2, it's going to move up to 0. So over here, I'm going to start my range at 0. And then this point where the y is +2, it also moves up 2, so it moves up to 4. All right, so I'm not going to steal all of your fun. This is a good place to pause the video and move the other equations all up so that the house has entirely moved up 2. And remember to click save when you're done with that. And then you're going to come over here and copy the link. Obviously, don't copy it like this. You have to continue moving the house up. But when it's moved up, you'll copy the link. And then you will paste it here, right here. All right, then we do a new one. This one is going to be called house moved right. All right, so let's look at a different line. A line like this red one, if I want to move it right 2, right now it's at 1, so it's going to move to 3. So this is the red line. It goes to x equals 3. All right, so I moved that over, and I have to move all of this over. Let's try moving the green one over. So for the green one, I need to change both the equation, and I also need to change the part of the equation I'm taking. So the first thing I might do is actually just get rid of the restriction so I can see the whole line. All right, and then if I want to move it over to the right, it's also going to move up, I can see. So I'm going to try changing this number here. What if I tried moving it to 3.5? All right, so actually it looks like it moved up to the right place. And now I need to write a restriction for it so that it will only be the roof and not all the way across the page. So I want it from this point to this point, and I'm going to restrict the x values. So my first x is 0, and my last x is 3. So I need the fancy brackets. 0. The less than or equal to, you can copy it or you can get it down here. So I copied it with Control C and I pasted it with Control V, X, and I think I said 3. Let's see how that works. Pretty good. Okay, so I moved these two over, and I need to now move the rest of these over to the right. And I forgot to rename it when I started, so I'm going to rename it now. The house moved right. I'm going to save it, but remember, I'm not done. You need to actually move the entire house over too. Okay, once you have that moved over too, you're going to come back here, share graph, and copy the link, and you're going to paste it here for number 7. All right, number 8, this time we're going to do house made wider. So you actually want to move the house wider. I'm going to probably let you do most of it yourself, but one thing I might suggest is that to make it wider, you could leave this one here and take this side, the right wall, and move it over. And then you're going to have to make this piece of the roof longer, and you'll have to adjust this piece of the roof too. So that's just a suggestion. Keep this here, move this one over so the entire house is wider. Okay, so I think that is enough to get you started. I'm going to check back and make sure I didn't miss anything. Yep. Once you've made the house wider, you will paste the link here and turn it in. You can feel free to email us any questions as this comes up, but remember that this assignment is due at 3 o'clock.